Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Today is Daf Mem Test. We're up to the last Daf in Kol HaShlomim. And Mi'etz Hashem, we're going to finish the Perek today and start a new Perek tomorrow. But we start from the Mishnah on Daf Mem Ches Amud Beis on the bottom. Zoirin tachteho, Yerokois b'mois hageshamim. You're allowed to plant vegetables under the branches of a shiur tree in the winter time. Why in the winter time? Rashi says because the tree and the branches damage the yerokas. There's no benefit there. You know why? Because it damages the vegetables because it doesn't allow the sun to shine onto the yerokas to give it sunlight. But not in Yemois HaChama. Why? B'Yemois HaChama, the shade, sun is so strong, it needs the shade. So if it's under an shiur tree, it has shade from the shiur tree, then it's aser. V'hachazirin, and lettuce. You cannot plant lettuce under an shiur tree, not in the winter, not in the summer, and the reason is because Rashi says Shatzel Yofa Lachazeres La'olam, because it's always the shade for chazeres, for lettuce is always good for the chazeres. So therefore, you're benefiting from the shiur tree if you plant it underneath those branches. Bein b'mois hachama, bein b'mois hakshamim. Rabbi Yosi says, Af lo yerokas b'mois hakshamim. He argues on Tanakama in the Reisha. Don't even plant vegetables in the winter under an shiur tree. You know why? Even though the branches damage it, because the little sunlight we have in the winter is being held back, but mipnei shehanavia nesheres alein, the leaves fall on top of those vegetables, and it fertilizes the ground in the vegetables, and it improves the growth, and therefore you're benefiting from the shiur tree. So Rabbi Yosi says that since leaves fall onto the ground, those leaves become fertilizer, and you're benefiting from a shiur tree even during the winter. Now what's really interesting over here is that suppose the leaves do fall on the ground and they fertilize the karka and the vegetables, right? But it's not the leaves are only a partial ingredient in the growth of these vegetables, right? The leaves they're not the ingredient. They're only partially contributing to the produce, to the growth of these vegetables. So asks the Gemara the first question, L'meimra, the Rabbi Yosi savar zevazeh goyrim aser. There's a concept, there's a sugya and psachim in different places in Shas, and over here, where it's called zevazeh goyrim, that it's two different parts are goyrim for a certain growth to grow and to produce. Two contributing parts. Yeah, two contributing parts. One is aser and one is mutter. Over here, the vegetables, if you plant vegetables under a shiur tree, then you have two contributing parts. One is one of the leaves. The leaves is one. The leaves are aser. And the other part is the karka, the ground. The ground is mutter. Right? So you have the dirt in the ground, and you have the leaves that fertilize the ground. So that's zevazeh goyrim, and zevazeh goyrim is aser. Oh, shalom aleichem, Reb Shol. Hey. Oh, Reb Shol, we missed you. I think I speak on behalf of all of us. Oh, okay. I'm assuming you were away, otherwise you would be here. Okay. Hey, look at Reb Tzvi is the oichet. What?
I really enjoyed the video, by the way.
Oh, you enjoyed the film, yeah? What?
Not the whole thing, but I think this is
What? Okay, shkoyach for your support, by the way. Thank you. Yeah.
How do I get a hold of a copy? How do I see it?
You go to ashkifa.com. I'll give you the website.
Okay.
Give you the website after this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we're starting the Gemara now. Reb Shol, אנחנו מדברים פה משהו חזק מאוד. Imamish came in the right time. If a person plants under an shiur tree, yeah, we actually brought this yesterday.
You brought in the shiur tree?
This is a good representation of an shiur tree. You know why?
The whole thing is fake.
The whole thing is fake. Yeah, that's what shiurs are. We actually had a Russian doll underneath it. We spoke about the Avodah Zarah under the shiur tree. We're going now Stefanski style. Once in a while, we have to. Yeah, we have to revive it.
I remember a long time ago, I learned it.
אז זה וזה גוירם, the whole sugya?
כן, הגורם, האם הצל שלה, האם הגורם עוזר לירקות?
Yes, yes, that's right. So over here, what happens is the guy plants vegetables underneath an ashera tree, under the shade of an ashera tree. Now what happens is, in the winter, the shade actually damages the vegetables. It's not called benefiting because in the winter there's very little sunlight, and whatever sunlight there is, you want to make sure that the sunlight reaches the vegetables so it can grow. So the shade that the ashera tree provides for vegetables in the winter doesn't benefit it, it damages it. So therefore in the winter, the Tanna Kama says it's okay. You can plant vegetables in the winter under an ashera tree because that shade is not giving you any benefit. If anything, it damages it. So Rabbi Yossi says, no, even in the winter it's usher. You know why? Because what happens is, watch this. What happens is, see the leaves fall down, the winter, the wind falls down, and this becomes fertilizer, and now it's contributing to the growth of the vegetables because it fertilizes the ground. Says the Gemara, Lamemra asks the Gemara, Mamash, the first line of the Gemara, Lamemra, the Rabbi Yossi Savar, Zev Zeh Goyrim Aser. Rabbi Yossi holds that when you have two contributing factors, then it's Aser, the product that's born out of those two contributing factors, it's Aser. For Rabbanan Amri Zev Zeh Goyrim Mutter, we have a Mishnah that teaches us the exact opposite. Titnan, we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yossi says, what do you do with Avodah Zarah? How do you mevatel it? Shoichik, you grind it up, and you throw it, disperse it into the wind. You throw it into the sea. Amruloi, so the Tanakama said, the Chachamim said, Afinasa Zevel. Don't do that. You know why? Because if you grind it and throw it into the air, what's going to happen? Law of gravity, it comes back down and it fertilizes people's fields. So the Chachamim are the ones who say don't do it because Zev Zeh Goyrim Aser. And Rabbi Yossi says you could do it because Zev Zeh Goyrim Mutter, which is the exact opposite in our Mishnah. So the Gemara says, yeah, Kash Rabbanan Rabbanan, Kash Rabbi Yossi, you have contradiction of the opinions of the Rabbanan against the Rabbanan, and a contradiction of Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yossi. So the Gemara says, Bishlam with Rabbi Yossi like Kasha, understand. Maybe you can reconcile, you can answer Rabbi Yossi in the following manner. Hassam over there, when you want to be Mavatal on Avodah Zarah, Rabbi Yossi says you can grind it up and throw it into the air. That would work. You know why? Hassam dika azali ibud matter. Because this guy, as soon as he grinds it up, this guy, he's Mavatal it. So when it lands back down to the ground, it's already bottle. It's not Avodah Zarah, so there's no problem with Zev Zeh Goyrim. Because as soon as he ground it up and he threw it away, it's over. Right? There's bottle. So now if it lands, it's not an issue. But over here, over here, what happens? In a natural way, in an organic way, you have leaves that fall from an ashera tree. Those leaves are not bottled simply because they fell. It's part of an ashera tree. The ashera tree was never bottled. This is not bottled. So Ibazoi, Rabbi Yossi over here will hold it's Zev Zeh Goyrim because this is still Isser. Ela de Rabbanan, Kasha, but according to the Chachamim over here say it's Mutter. And over there they say it's Aser. That's a Kasha. So the first answer to the Gemara is Eipach. Yeah? Okay, so if you want to stay consistent with the Rabbi Yossi and the Rabbanan, you'll have to switch it around, you have to flip around in one of the Mishnayos to make it match. Okay? V'ibay say Loi Teipach. Or you could say, no, you don't have to flip around one of the Mishnayos to make it consistent. Loi Teipach. The Rabbi Yossi and the Shanin. I can answer Rabbi Yossi like I said. Like Rabbi Yossi will hold over there. It's not a problem because it's going li'ibud. And he's already mavatled before it lands on the ground and becomes fertilizer. And over here, he also it is a problem because he's never mavatled. And what about the Rabbanan? The Rabbanan could the Omer of Mori Bereder of Kahana. The Rabbanan you can answer like Rav Mori Bereder of Kahana said, Mashem Ashbiach Ba'ar Poigin B'Basar. Hachanami Mashem Ashbiach B'Neviya Poigin B'Tzel. What does that mean? It means that there's a cross cancellation. There's a cross cancellation. What's the cross cancellation? Yeah, it brings it right from Kachim. We'll talk about it in a moment. But basically what he's saying is that the reason why the Chachamim are matter over here, when the leaves fall and fertilize the vegetables under the Ashera tree, even though this is still Isser, the reason why they're matter is because, you're right, this does benefit the vegetables, because it becomes fertilizer. But you know what damages the vegetables? The tzel. So they cancel each other out. They cancel each other. Whatever this is mashbiach, this is mazik. So the damage of the tzel of the Ashera tree in the winter cancels out any benefit that comes from the leaves that fall onto the Yerakas and become fertilizer. That's what it is. So that's what he's saying. Mashmashbiach ba'ar paigim b'basar. Yeah? Gemara talks about psula hekdesh. That case is by psula hekdesh. You have a behemoth which is pasul lamizbeach, pasul hakrava. So the halacha is that you sell it, but it still retains some of the kedusha. But so whatever value you can get out of the behemoth belongs to hektish. And Gemara wants to know, why can't you sell the hide, skin the animal, sell the hide for a lot of money? You make a lot of money for hektish, right? You can skin the animal, sell the hide, and then sell the basar. And the Gemara says, no, don't do it, because if you skin the animal, it's a bezoin kachim. It's a bezoin kachim because there's a certain way to skin the animal. It's bezoin hektish. We don't skin the for profits. We don't do that. Even though you're benefiting hektish, but it's bezoin kachim. Gemara says, what do you mean? But you're making a lot of money for hektish because the hide is expensive. It says bezoin kachim, maybe it's bezoin kachim, but it's a lot of money you're making for hektish. So why not do it? Hektish is going to get more money. So the Gemara says, no, whatever money they're going to get, they're going to lose as you're skinning it. You know why? Because the basar gets ruined. You can't sell the basar for the same amount that you could sell it without skinning the animal. So whatever profit you'll make for hektish from the hide as you skin it and selling the hide, you're going to anyways lose from the basar, because as you're skinning it, you're going to ruin the meat. So therefore, it cancels each other out, so we're not allowed to do that because of bezoin kachim. So over here too, whatever benefit you're getting from these leaves that are falling onto the Yerukas and become fertilizer, it's going to be ruined, it's going to be canceled out by the tail of the Asherah tree during Yemais HaShomim because there's not enough sunlight. That's the Gemara's teretz. Oh, so now Gemara is assuming that Rabbi Yossi holds Zev Zeh Goyim Aser, like our Mishnah, and we just answered the stira from a different Mishnah, and Rabbanan say it's mutter, right? That's how we are holding at this stage of the Gemara. Asks the Gemara, 4 lines from the bottom. V'sover Rabbi Yossi Zev Zeh Goyim Aser, is it true that Rabbi Yossi in Kol HaTorah Kula holds that we have 2 contributing factors, one Aser and one mutter, that it's Aser? Asks the Gemara, Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi says, Noitin Yichur Shel Arla. What's Arla? Arla is first 3 years. Shalosh Shanim. Halacha is that it's Aser to eat. The 4th year, it's not to Rava. You bring it up to Yerushalayim, you can eat it in Yerushalayim. But what happens if somebody wants to take a branch of a tree, of an Arla tree, right? And he wants to plant it. Plant it, he's not allowed to because it's Arla. The Ein Noitin Egos Shel Arla, and they Shu Peri. I'm sorry. The branch of an Arla tree is mutter. The peri of an Arla tree, that's what's Aser. Because the branch is not Aser, it's the peris that are Aser. So if you want to take a branch of an Arla tree and you want to plant through that branch, you want to stick it into the ground and water it and plant a new tree, that's okay. But if you want to take a peri of an Arla tree, that wouldn't be okay. Okay, that's the what is that? That's the Mishnah. Because because the peri is Aser B'achila, so you're taking a surei achila and you're planting it to grow another tree. Right, anaf is no Aser achila, so that's okay. Zog the Gemara of Omer Rav Yudah Rav. Yudah Rav says, Moida Rabbi Yossi is Moida she'im nota vehivrich vehirkiv mutter. Let's say you take the egos of an Arla tree, the peri of an Arla tree, and you graft it with a tree that's mutter. You graft it. So now, whatever produce grows out of that is Zev Zeh Goyim. You have 2 contributing factors.
Grafting itself is a problem. Yeah. Grafting itself.
No, it's the same egos.
No.
Same thing. It's not kalayim. Yeah, but the egos are mutter is already past Arla. Yeah, it's not Arla. And you have Arla, egos of Arla, and an egos that's mutter, and you graft it together, and now you have new egosim.
No problem.
So these new egosim says Rabbi Yossi, no problem, mutter. You know why? Because Zev Zeh Goyim, you have 2 contributing factors, so it's mutter. V'taina ma'achi, moide Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi agrees. And we're going to Mantes Amid Aleph. You have a Mishnah and a Brisa that says that in the case of 2 contributing factors growing and producing a new entity, the halacha is it's mutter because Zev Zeh Goyim is mutter. Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah says Aser. Rabbi Yossi says you're not allowed to have the leaves of an Asherah tree fall onto the Yerukas because it becomes fertilizer and it's going to be Zev Zeh Goyim. It's Aser. Over here by Arli says it's mutter. It's a steer in Rabbi Yossi. Over here it's Avodah Zarah. Oh, very good. Excellent. Says the Gemara, first daf of Mem and Aleph. Yeah, first Amid. Like top line actually. Yeah, v'chitei meshani le Rabbi Yossi. Bein shar usurim avodas kachavim. Excellent. Maybe you'll tell me that our Mishnah is more chamur, right? Because the chumra of Avodah Zarah, we had that earlier. That chumra of Avodah Zarah, we had it by sale. We had it yesterday, 2 days ago, where halacha is, if somebody wants to sit in the tzila shel heichal, somebody wants to get shade from the heichal of the Beis Hamikdash. Is it a me'ilah or not? The whole sugya of psachim.
Right.
You're allowed to. But if somebody wants to get shade from an asherah tree, it's aser.
What about shade?
Lama, so Taisa says, because chumer d'avodah zarah.
What shade-
So maybe over here also, it's chumer d'avodah zarah. That's what Rabbi Yossi says, it's a goyim
What
aser.
shade of the Vatican?
Ah. I was listening to a shiur today from the Heilige Rav Sully Bornstein, and he was talking about he had a whole raid bite on going into a church, if it's mutter or aser. And he spoke two tshuvas from Avodah Yosef, who vehemently says it's aser,
Yeah.
not allowed to go into
Yeah.
a church. And Rabbi Feinstein, it's not so simple. Before I went into the Vatican to film, I asked, I don't want to say publicly, but I asked a Rav in town, a big Rav in town.
Here.
Yeah, and he said that being that it's not a functional church, it's a museum. It's not a functional church. And also I'm going for my own benefit to film there. I don't know, he said it's mutter. There's another issue with going to a church. It's not clear that's Avodah Zarah.
Well,
Not all,
Catholicism is.
not every level, not every form of Christianity believes in shituf.
Right.
That,
Catholicism.
yeah, that
Catholics do.
Catholics do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
No, Shtieble is not
Yeah.
obviously Avodah Zarah either.
Can I have no for my film right now? Maybe we can't watch it. Yeah?
You know.
It's filmed in the Vatican. Yeah.
No,
You gotta
Greek,
Surah, no.
the Greek Orthodox, the Russian Orthodox,
Hey, boy.
the Eastern Orthodox, you know.
They all hold that it's shituf.
And Catholicism. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
wow.
all, you know.
Okay, so I'm relying on my ruv. Okay,
No, that if he said it's mutter, it's mutter.
it's mutter. V'chitei mishon l'Rabbi-
magazine, you quoted,
The what? I quoted the name of the ruv. Okay.
you also
Hope he doesn't get flagged.
you also put
I asked her a Tauber.
Oh, yeah, no, you can really.
Yeah.
He said
He knows what
He said it's mutter. Yeah. Before I went,
Really, it says
I had actually another shiloh that I asked him, and this one he said, I've never heard such a shiloh. Vatican and church, that's famous. All the Achronim, the Rabbanim, Chuvas about that. But I asked him also, because we're doing another film about the Ketores, the discovery of the Ketores, which happened in the 90s.
What?
Yeah.
What they
about-
discovered? What?
It's a long story, but not for now. Yeah, but anyway,
It's another movie.
that's another movie. Yeah, but either way, I said that they have the organic materials of the 11 spices, and I'm going to the paleontologist who wrote a report on it, and we're filming him, and we want to film the scene again.
Is he
Of
Jewish?
him. He's not Jewish, but I want to film the scene again. First of all, can I hold it? Can I smell it? Can I this? And he says, this is the first time in my life I'm hearing such a shiloh, so I have to look into it.
Yeah.
He had what to say about it, but Akalpanim, with regard to our sugya, Reb Shol, you want to say that it's maybe Avodah Zarah is different. Avodah Kechavim is different. Why is Avodah Kechavim different? Because Chumer Avodah Zarah, maybe that's where Rabbi Yossi holds in our Mishnah Zevaz and Goyim Aser. Right? By Arla, he says Mutter, because it's only Arla. But Avodah Zarah, so that's why it's not a contradiction.
Why Erla? How is it one negative, one positive canceling out?
Because you took an egos of Arla and you grafted it with an egos that's Mutter.
Positive, all positive. But
So it's
negative.
Aser and Mutter together that are growing a new tree.
I thought it's a positive and negative thing.
Yeah, so the negative is the Isser, the Arla, the egos of an Arla, which you're not allowed to eat. And you took an egos, a walnut of a mutter tree, and you combined them together, planted them, and then it grew a new tree. So now that new tree is powered, so to speak, is nurtured by the two contributing factors. One is Usser, one is
but
mutter.
In the case of Erla, nothing changed.
Well, no,
nothing
a new
changed.
product grew.
But
Out of
the
those
Erla
two.
is still Erla.
Correct.
Here,
But the new product that grew is a combination of both
both trees.
yes. That's a
So wait, you said so the fruit from the branch that you grafted is still orla.
Yeah. That's you're asking. Yeah, that's still Arla. Right.
Yeah.
The chitei meshan Rabbi Yossi mishar esum avodas kechavim. If you're going to tell me that Rabbi Yossi holds avodas kechavim is different, and mishanile is it really different? Vatanya soda shenas dabla bezevel avodas kechavim, a soda that was nisdabel, was fertilized with zevel of avodas kechavim. V'chein para shenas spatma bekarshin avodas kechavim, or you fatten the cow right before they shecht it. They do it today also. They try to fatten it to get more meat or whatever, more produce out of it. So they fatten it and then they shecht it. So porish and spatma because it was food that was belonged to Avodah Zarah. Tani chada sada tizra para tishachid. You can have a gnaw from the sada. You can plant it, no problem. You can shecht the para. You can have a gnaw from it, no issue. V'tani yidach sada tava para tiraza. You have to leave the field barren, or you have to allow this para to go on a diet so it loses all that fat that you fattened it up with food from Avodah Zarah. So one brisa says mutter, another brisa says it's aser. My love, Rabbi Yosi v'Rabbanan. The only way we can reconcile these two brises, these two contradictory psakim in the brises, if you say that the Isser, the one that says Aser, is Rabbi Yosi, like our Mishnah says Aser, and here, like the Rabbanan, and the one that's Mutter is like the Rabbanan. So what do you see from here?
Rabbi,
Yeah.
did you go to the mikveh after you went to the Vatican?
I did better than that. I went to the Kaisel. I went to soak up all the kedusha.
But you went to
Did you go to the mikveh before you went to the kosel?
I didn't go to the Harabais. I have to go to the mikveh also.
No.
Okay.
To the
No,
kosel
it
itself.
says after the Vatican you should have gone to the mikveh.
Who says?
Rabbi Yaakov Ariel.
Oh, Bemet?
Rav
You know what?
Yaakov-
I'll tell you
Rav
something.
Yaakov who?
I did feel like I needed to go to the mikveh afterwards. I felt such...
הוא אומר, אין להיכנס לכנסיות פעילות, אבל כנסייה שהיא מוזיאון, מותר, כגון בגנזי הוותיקן. יש ספרים יהודים עתיקים ונדירים שהוחרמו על ידי הכנסייה והראו לראותם.
Okay.
It's good to see those books, because there's the Meiri there.
Yeah.
books that-
Yeah, there were a lot of manuscripts, yeah.
ראשוניה.
Yeah.
הוא אומר, וכן גדולי ישראל ביקרו בספריה, וכשיצאו טבלו במקווה.
Yeah.
גדולי ישראל נכנסו לשם והסתכלו, אבל כשיצאו טבלו במקווה. מעניין, אה? זאת אומרת, לוותיקן לא כדאי להיכנס למקומות שיש שם פולחן. אם יש פולחן שם, באזורים של פולחן לא להיכנס.
What's considered pulchan? Pulchan is considered like a
פולחן,
cross.
שיש שם את הקרוס ומתפללים שם, השטויות שלהם, את השתי בערב. אבל אם הולכים
Yeah,
למטה...
it's a museum. It's a museum area.
כן,
Then it's,
או שהולכים, כמו שאתה אומר, ראית את טייטוס ואת
Yeah.
אדריאנוס וזה,
yeah.
אז הוא אומר, אין לזה בעיה. אבל...
ראית את הסרט? ראית כבר את הסרט?
ראית הסרט,
אוקיי, בסדר.
בטח שלא.
Let's make sure.
You can always go.
כל המשפחה הזאת.
באמת? Oh, בסדר. Okay, good.
You can always go to the mikveh Erev Shabbos. This Erev Shabbos.
Yeah.
It's like
Shkoyach. Okay.
$5.
My love, says the Gemara. Harabi Yosi v'Rabbanan. The only way to reconcile these two brises, that if you use fertilizer on Varis Kachavim for your field, one brise says it's mutter, other brise says it's aser, is if you say Rabbi Yosi is the one that says mutter, because you see by Arla he says mutter, and the Rabbanan say it's aser over there by Arla, and that's why it's the Rabbanan, so that's how you can reconcile it. So what do you see from here? Rabbi Yosi says it's mutter. So if Yosi is the one that says it's mutter, how are you going to answer our Mishnah? Our Mishnah says he says it's aser.
Even by it's Kachavim.
Even, he says that even by Avodah Zarah, that's the word. Yeah. Even by Avodah Zarah, he says it's mutter. Very good. Yeah, thank you. That's the punch, right? So the Gemara says, you see, Avodah Zarah, he says it's mutter. Says the Gemara, loy. No, it's not. It's not a hechrich that Rabbi Yosi is matter. Mishem zev is agorim. Could be it's not Rabbi Yosi. This Bryce is another Tana altogether. Ha Rabbi Eliezer, ha Rabbanan. This is Rabbi Eliezer who says Aser, and the Rabbanan are matter. Which Rabbi Eliezer, which Rabbanan? Now that's going to become the subject right now. Right now we want to resolve the stira in the Bryces that we just mentioned. If you use fertilizer but it's kachavim to plant your field, one Bryce says Aser, the other Bryce says mutter. Nothing to do with Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan that we just learned. It's a new machlekes tanoim. Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan asks the Gemara, "Hi, Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbanan. Where is this Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan?" Ilim Rabbi Eliezer Rabbanan. This oir. Datnan. It's a mission in Arla. So'or shel chulin, sourdough of chulin, shel truma, sourdough of truma. Right. So so'or shel chulin is mutter, and truma is aser lazarim or latmeim. So truma is the one that's aser. Right. So here you have iser and heter. Shenaflo techa isa fell into dough. Each one can't achieve chimutz on its own. They need each other. And they combine to be mechametz to make this into a dough. Rabbi Eliezer says, I always follow whatever fell in last. If the truma fell in last, it's aser. If the chulin fell in last, then it's mutter. You have a chachamim say, doesn't matter. Bein shenafel iser lekatchila, or bein shenafel iser lebasoif, eino yaser, ad sheyehei boy is the iser, until the iser has enough sa'oyer to be mechametz on its own. Ad sheyehei boy kedei lechametz on its own. Okay, now that's the machlekes of Eliezer and the Rabbanim. V'omer Abaye. So Abaye says, Loi shanu. When do we say Rabbi Eliezer is mater? If the chulin fell in last, right? Rabbi Eliezer says we always go basar achroina. So when is Rabbi Eliezer matter when it fell in last? Ela shekodam v'sila kase iser. It's only if you quickly remove the isur. That's when we say if the heter falls in last that it's mutter. Avoloi kodam v'silikas isur. But if you didn't remove the isur right away, you left the isur in there together with the heter. Even if the heter fell in last, but if the isur is still in there, asur it's asur, right? So what do you see from here? Why is it asur? Because zevozeh goyrim is asur because it happened by the combination of both of them. So the Gemara says, you want to know who this brisa of Sadash and his Dabla, Bezevel Veris Chavim is Asr? It's this Rabbi Eliezer. Says the Gemara, slow down. This is Abaya's interpretation of Rabbi Eliezer, but who's to say Abaya is right? Umimai, the time of the Rabbi Eliezer kada Abaya. How do you know Abaya is right? Abaya is correct in his interpretation of Rabbi Eliezer. Dilma time is Rabbi Eliezer, Mr. Achar Achar Naniba. Maybe Rabbi Eliezer holds, like we all know, Hakoil Hoilach Achar Agmar. Even if he didn't take out the Isser that fell in first. But if the Heter falls in last, that's enough. Whatever falls in last is enough. Abaya interprets Rabbi Eliezer by saying that if the Heter falls in last, it's only okay if you right away quickly remove the Isser. Says the Gemara, how does Abaya know it in Rabbi Eliezer? Where did he see it in his words? It's Gematria. He doesn't say it in Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer says what he means. It means what he says. He says we always go Achar Achroin. So maybe Achar Achroin means even if the Isser is still there. Gemara says, Dilma time Rabbi Eliezer, Achar Achroin Niba. Igamr Isura. Asura, if it completed the chimutz through the Sa'ir Shal Isser, which fell in last, then it's Asur. Vigamr Be'atera Mutarin. Bein Salke, Bein Loi Salke. It doesn't matter if you removed the Isser after the Heter fell in. So the Gemara says, so you can't prove that Rabbi Eliezer holds Zevazeg Goyrim. Zevazeg Goyrim is Asur. Can't prove that he holds Zevazeg Goyrim is Asur. Because if the Heter falls in afterward, even if the Isser is still there, it's Mutter. It's Zevazeg Goyrim. Right? So you can't prove that Rabbi Eliezer is the one who holds Zevazeg Goyrim is Asur. Because it's only in Abai's interpretation that you can prove it. But the Gemara rejects Abai's interpretation. How do you see that in the words of Rabbi Eliezer? So in the words of Rabbi Eliezer, the way we see it, Rabbi Eliezer says if the Heter falls in last, even if the Isser is still there, it's okay. Zevazeg Goyrim is Mutter. Ela la'olam ha'Rabbi Yosi v'ha'Rabbanan. Yeah, you want to know who this brisa that says Sada, which is fertilized with fertilizer of Avodah Zarah, is a machlokes. That's a machlokes Rabbi Yosi v'ha'Rabbanan. Gemara says Rabbi Yosi says that it's mutter, like we said by Arla, right? And the Chachamim are the one who says it's aser. You're going to ask me from. I'm sorry, I skipped. I'm sorry. That's why I was like confused. Okay, Ela Rabbi Eliezer v'Rabbanan de'etzim. So Gemara says maybe it's a different Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan. So Rabbi Eliezer Rabbanan de'etzim de'tanan. Yeah, we're going to see this Mishnah on the base. Notal ha'imeno eitzim. If a person takes branches from a shiur tree, asura b'hano, you're not allowed to know from those branches. Why? Because it's Avodah Zarah. Hisig ba'satanur. What if you use the branches of an shiur tree to light up an oven? So now it depends. Chodosh, if you're lighting up a tanur, an oven, with branches from an shiur tree for the first time, you never used this oven before. Do you know what happens to the oven first time you light it? It compacts it, right? It like makes it using it, being mechanech the oven. Rashi says it makes it strong.
You're talking about a brick oven.
A brick oven, yes.
Right, yeah.
A brick oven. That now the oven itself benefited from these atzei asherah because now it was completed, right? It was the makah b'patish.
Right.
So now what do you have to do? Can't have enough in the oven. That's it. So what do you have to do with the oven? Chodosh yutatz. You have to destroy it. You have to shatter it, right? You have to break it because you're not have enough of it. Yoshon. But what if you heated a old oven, an oven that if you heat it now, that's a sheir, it's not really going to complete the job, the building of the oven. So by Yoshan, all you have to do is yutzan. You have to cool it down so you can't have enough from the heat. But the oven didn't become aser because you didn't benefit. The oven itself didn't benefit from the heat. So therefore, all you got to do is just cool it down. Off of Boyasapas, what happens if you bake bread in an oven? Let's say even if it's an old oven, but you bake bread in an oven is mutter, and you bake it with atzei asherah, right? Atzei asherah is aser. So here you have a classic case of zevazeg goyrim, right? The tanur is mutter, The eitzim are aser, and through both, you use both heter and iser to bake a bread, to bake a loaf of bread. So the Gemara, huh?
The bread is getting that, not just.
Oh, but it's also, there are two contributing factors. The bread is made of a factor of heter and a factor of iser. So this is the whole conversation. So afa by sapas asura bahana. It's aser bahana. Pashtas kezev zagorim is aser. This arva ba'cherim. If it got mixed up with others, with other mutarim, kul and asura is bahana. It's also aser bahana because this pas doesn't become bottle. It's Avodah Zarah. It's builders. It doesn't become bottle. Rabbi Eliezer says it's okay. If it got mixed up, then all you got to do is take, or even if it didn't get mixed up, all you got to do is take the value of what? Look at Rashi and Tosfos of what? But let's go with Tosfos, it's easier to understand. If you take the value of the bread, right, let's say the loaf of bread is worth $5. You can, Rabbi says you can eat the bread. Just take $5 out of your pocket and throw it into the Yam Melech. So this way you're not going to benefit from the value of it. So you could still eat it. Okay, that's Rabbi Eliezer. Amru Leicham said, no, ain't pidyon avodas kechavim. What do you mean? You can't be paid avodas kechavim. What are you going to like redeem it? You're going to like take $5, the value of the avodas kechavim, and now this tumah avodas kechavim is chal on the money? Like you can't be paid. Paid is for hekdesh, not for tumah. Huh?
No ruach ra.
Oh, so you're saying it's ruach ra, so maybe you'll take the ruach ra and you put it on the money. That's Chum saying, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It's Chum arguing Rabbi Eliezer. But what do you see from here? You see from here, there's a machlokes where the zevazeg goyrim is aser or mutter, right? Rabbi Eliezer says it's aser. I'm sorry, Rabbi Eliezer says it's, what does he say?
It's us, because that's why you have to no.
Right. Well, it's aser because that's have to be yer lechano liyama melech. Right. So this is the Rabbi Eliezer. This is the Tana that holds that if a field is fertilized with fertilizing with the Zarah, it's a problem. So the Gemara says, so now we know Rabbi Eliezer is the one who holds it's aser, but the Rabbanan argue. So where's the Rabbanan? Where is that the Rabbanan? The Rabbanan don't argue in Rabbi Eliezer. The Rabbanan in this Mishnah also agree that it's aser. So where is the Rabbanan in the previous brisa that would allow zevazeh goyim? So Rabbanan pleaded was a maninu. Who is the Rabbanan? Either Rabbanan the eitzim achmur machmer. They're even more machmer. They're saying it doesn't help to take the anol yama melech. So the Rabbanan and that Rabbi Eliezer can't be the Rabbanan of the brisa who says that it's muter lazabel bezevos labedes kechavim. So which Rabbanan is it? El Rabbanan the Sa'ir. And they tell me it's the Rabbanan of the Sa'ir shel chulam shel truma, and they're mater since it's zevazeh goyim. Maybe they're Sa'ir of Chulin and Truma. Maybe they're Mekel Zevaz Agorim because it's only Truma. But Avodah Zarah is even more Chamer. Right? It's Gimel Chamuros. So maybe, how do you know to plug in the Rabbanan of Sa'ir Shal Truma and Sa'ir Shal Chulin, that it's mutter into the Rabbanan, into the Brisa, that they're also the ones that are holding the Brisa, that Zevaz Agorim B'Avodah Zarah is also mutter. It's not a Raya. It says the Gemara, Elo la'olam ha-Rabbi Yosi v'ha-Rabbanan. Really, I'll tell you, the brisa that says that Zevaz Agorim is mutter by Zevel Avodas Kechavim is Rabbi Yosi. He's the one who holds in Kol HaTorah Kula Zevaz Agorim is mutter. V'ha Rabbanan. And the brisa that says that it's aser is the Rabbanan, like they say to Rabbi Yosi, don't be shaychik v'zoyra, don't spread it, because if it falls down, it becomes fertilizer, and that's a problem. Our Mishnah says Rabbi Yosi also holds it's an issue. He says that you cannot plant in Yemoisak Shamim Yerakos under an Asherah tree because the leaves fall down and it's going to fertilize it and it's a problem. Saki said Rabbi Yosi holds Zevaz Agorim is mutter. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yosi la devreim de Rabbanan amar lahu. Rabbi Yosi says it according to Rabbanan. He says like this: Lididi, according to me, Zevaz Agorim mutter. It's also always mutter. Lididchu, but it's according to you guys. The Rabbanan, the Amritu Zevaz Agorim asur, oidu lemiyas af Yerakos Mesak Shamim. That Yemoisak Shamim should be a problem because the leaves fall down and it's Zevaz Agorim, and you guys hold Zevaz Agorim is aser. And for Rabbanan, Why do the Rabbanan matir take? If Rabbanan always hold Zev Zagorim Osir, how are they going to answer Rabbi Yossi's kasha? How could they allow you Rakas being like Shamim if it's Zev Zagorim because the leaves fall and become fertilizer? Gemara says, "Could the Amar of Mari Breder of Kahana?" No, we said earlier because it cancels each other out. The cell is mazikit, damages it. The leaves are benefiting it. And so that hanoah that he gets from the leaves is anyways canceled out by the shade. And that's where the Rabbanan say it's mutter over there. But really, again, in Kol HaTorah Kula, we should know, take away from the sugya. Zev Zagorim, Osir or mutter, machloikis. Who holds mutter? Rabbi Yossi. Who holds osir? The Chachamim. That's the bottom line. And on that, Zog the Gemara, Amar Rav Yudah Mar Shmuel, halacha k'Rabbi Yossi. The halacha is like Rabbi Yossi, that Zev Zagorim is mutter, which bothered me tremendously because that means that you can go into any store and buy things without a hechsher. As long as you see some ingredients are kosher, it would be Zev Zagorim, no? And we pass them like Rabbi Yossi, Zev Zagorim is mutter. Okay, we'll talk about that in a moment. You shouldn't. If the Gemara comes out, and this is the halacha shulchan aruch. Halacha shulchan aruch is Zev Zagorim is mutter, which sparks a whole debate because, there's a chumrah in Klal Yisrael not to buy milk on Pesach unless it has a date from before Pesach. Why? Because if the cow was fed chametz on Pesach, then what's going to happen? The milk that's produced from that cow is Zev Zagorim. Comes from the chametz and comes from the cow. So if it comes from both, right, it's an issue of Zev Zagorim, and therefore, I spoke to a yid today, right? There's a chumrah in Klal Yisrael not to buy milk if the milk was milked from a cow that was fed chametz on Pesach. It's a big problem. We say Zev Zagorim mutter. We say Zev Zagorim mutter. We just pass on Zev Zagorim mutter.
Not in Pesach.
Chametz is not even butter.
Not in Pesach.
Because Zev Zagorim, according to many Rishonim, we'll see in Rashi, the Lashon Rashi, the Ran, they say that it's Mishim Bittel. It's Nisbatel. And we know in Chametz afilu b'mashu loy batel. It's not batel at all.
Right.
So Mamelu, you can't rely on Zev Zagorim mutter on Pesach, and that's what the Chumrah applies.
Pesach b'shishim batel.
They Pesach, yes.
If you buy regular Coca-Cola before Pesach, you don't need a hashta.
Why?
Because you bought it before Pesach.
Why?
It's part of the shisha.
Yeah.
But for you guys,
Right,
it's
he's saying the same thing.
kitniot.
Saying the
No,
same thing as
for
you.
you guys it's kitniot.
But it's before Pesach.
לא משנה, זה kitniot.
It's less than 160.
זה לא משנה, זה kitniot.
Less than 160.
What are you talking about?
Before Pesach, but
You have 40% of the coke is
Huh?
from corn.
Right.
40%.
Kidneys is a Chumrah, yeah.
40% is.
So you're saying, if it's kidneys, then it should be okay. Zev Zagorim is mutter. If it has kidneys in it.
40% is
Yerim
corn
Chol
syrup.
Steining. Kidney, he's saying very good. He's saying, so what if you have a food on Pesach, Ashkenazim, that has kidneys? Oh, that's what you're saying?
Yeah. I think coke is 40% or 35% of kitniot.
Yeah.
It's
But now Trump has made
corn syrup.
Trump is passing a law that it can't be made out of corn syrup anymore. They can't use corn syrup.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's
No,
only
they're
sugar.
Making a line they're making a special line of
Coke with sugar.
Sugar cane.
Oh, but it's still allowed. There's still
Call it the Mexican Coke.
but it's not that they're banning corn syrup and Coke.
No, they
Wait,
they
what's
agreed
it?
for Trump make sugar cane.
Okay, all right.
So I
Listen,
think Dr. Cruz was saying that Kenya is a chumrah.
41%.
41% of what?
It's corn sweetener.
41%.
It's corn sweetener.
It's 12 ounce.
So it should be okay if you say Zev Zagorim is mutter. It's not real chametz.
It's never good, never muta.
No, we say it's kidneys. It's kidneys.
זה לא בטל בשישים. זה corn syrup.
It's Kenya.
But corn syrup is
Yeah,
it's
for
not
you.
real chametz.
For you, it's not better.
But it's
Kapshol, you love saying that. For you, huh? For me, huh? For you
But
guys, it's okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Kitniot is not chametz.
No, it's not.
It's not chametz.
Right, that's what.
No,
That's
it's
what Michal is
not
tiny.
It's not chametz.
It's a chumrah balma.
Yeah, kitniot is not
No, but
chametz. It's not chametz,
Two
but
chumras were not
it's not פחות מ-1 It's much more than 1 אז
Yeah.
זה כמו שאתה קונה, let's say the corn in before Pesach.
Right.
Still in Pesach you cannot eat it.
You cannot.
For Ashkenazim,
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
but it's not chametz.
No, that's
But because you cannot eat because of the minhag.
right.
So there's no butter b'shishim here. Because it's not butter, but it's still the corn. It's still corn. And you cannot eat because of the minhag, not because chametz.
Zev is also not ingredients. It's a causes it. Ingredients with it seems to be different, no? The ingredient goes to the ground. It's not there anymore. It just
Right.
caused it.
By milk,
No.
there's a real
It's
shiur.
not.
There's a goyim
It's not.
because they both caused it.
It's not. It's 41%.
What would, oh, you talk about, oh, right.
By milk, they caused it. But if the ingredient itself, part of it is chametz, part of it is not,
active,
it's
a
still
problem.
active. It's a problem. I'm going to
Every
say
example with the fertilizer, with the oven, it's not different.
In
It's
a
excellent,
on,
excellent. That's
can.
exactly it.
Meaning
It's exactly.
it's
There's no
about
heter of zev goyim just because you have
25%.
partly isser and partly heter.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
25%.
Right. So that's why the shaila stands by milk, because if you fed the cow chametz and the chametz and the heter produce the milk, so the milk is the tetzah from both. But stam ingredients, which is chametz, are that's a problem.
Mamash corn.
Okay, says the Gemara weiter. Ahi ginsa, a story. There was this garden, this double bazil kechavim that they used fertilizer of Avodah Zarah.
There's a what?
It was a garden. Yeah, of that was this double ba'avodas kechavim. Zel avodas kechavim. Sholach Rav Amram kamed Rav Yosef. Rambam sent a shaila to Rav Yosef. He's allowed to benefit from the produce there because it was grown through Zevel of his Kavim. Omar le Yochi, Omar Rav Yudam Shmuel, halacha k'Rabbi Yosi. The halacha is like Rabbi Yosi. The paskin that it's mutter, Zev is a goyim is mutter. That's the halacha. Ken
אז ההלכה היא ברבי יוסי, זה גורם, אז
is mutar.
מותר...
זה הלכה פסק, זה הפסק הרמב"ם, זה פסק שולחן אורך, כן.
מתחת לעשרה, ולא משנה...
Even בעבודה זרה, yeah.
רגע, מתחת לעשרה, ולא משנה אם זה בחורף או בקיץ?
לא משנה.
וואו.
לא משנה.
זה וזה גורם.
Zev is a goyim. That's we pass like Rabbi Yosi. Amazing. Okay. So the Heilige Mishnah. Notel mimena eitzem asurim bano. We're going to Amid Beis. Yeah, if a person takes atzei asherah, right? Takes some of the branches off the asherah tree, not allowed enough from it. Says Avodah Zarah. What if a hisik ben satana? We just had an Amid Aleph. What if he lights an oven with it? Im chodosh. If it's a brand new tanner, the tanner was strengthened by it. Yutatz. You have to break it because you can't have enough in the tanner. Im yoshan. If it's an old tanner and the tanner itself didn't benefit, yutzan, just cool it off because you can't benefit from the heat, and you're good to go. Often by sapas. What if you use the heat to bake a loaf of bread? Asur ba'no. You can't have enough in the pas because the pas is a combination of isser and heter. This arve ba'acheres, kul asur ba'no. It's all asur even if it's this arve. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, that has we have a heter for that. Yoel chanoli amamelach. You could take the equal value of whatever ano you would get out of the bread and throw it into the amamelach and you're good to go. Amru loy sacham said to him, ain't pidyon about his chum. It's not a heter. You can't do that. Another example, not like in a karkor. Asur ba'no. How does he translate karkor? Karkor, I think, is like a weaving.
a weaver's pick.
A weaver's pick.
Weaver's pick.
A weaver's pick. To straighten the, I guess that's how they straighten the
No, what they do, yeah.
the threads on that apparatus they used.
Well, they
Whatever.
use a shuttle that goes back and forth.
Okay, so this is a karkor is part of that apparatus.
Yeah.
Asr ba'no, you're not allowed to have a no from that. You can't use it to weave. Oreg boisa beged. What if you used it to weave a beged? Asr ba'no. It's asr to have enough from the beged. Why? Because it was produced by a tool from a tool that was Avodah Zarah. This Arav ba'acherim. What if this karkor was this Arav? This beged was this Arav with other begadim. Ba'acherim. Even over here, it's mamish even more of a bittul kulan asurim ba'no. It's all also an Arav. You know, you can do take the value of the beged and throw it to Yam HaMelech and you're good to go. You can wear it.
אמר לו לדידי, זה וזה גורם מותר, ולדחודה אמרו לו זה וזה גורם אסור.
Yeah, that's earlier.
אז
Yeah.
הודי לו.
Yes.
אז הודו לו.
Yes. That was his kasha to them.
Yeah.
So they said no. So the Gemara says no.
מיד העיר הקודם מות הגשמים ורבנן כאמר דרד מראה
Right.
מרי ברד.
You're back in Omer Aleph, Reb Shol. You're back in Omer Aleph. Yeah.
I know, זה שאני מסתכל, אמר רב יהודה, אמר שמוע לך כרבי יוסי.
Yes.
שמותה.
Mutter. Yes. Omru lo yin pidyon of kechavim. The Chum said there's no pidyon for this kechavim. Okay. By the way, if you look at this mission, the top mission of Amtesam Beis, you see it's very shver. Because basically you're introducing me the same conversation we're using the Rabbanan, same achloikas, just one is by beged and the other is by pas. Right? So the Gemara says, why need both? It's richa. I need both. I need the machloikas to be articulated in both cases. The iyash minaka ma'isa, because he just would have told me the machloikas Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan by pas. V'hakom Rabbi Eliezer. Only in this case Rabbi Eliezer says that it's mutter mishum the kegamra pas kol yisura. Rabbi Eliezer's makel on Yoel Chanol Yam HaMelech in this case. You know why? Because by the time, at the same time that the pas becomes baked, the eitzim are vanishing. They're being burnt to a crisp and turned into ashes. So ba'i idne the kegamra pas kol esura. That's why Rabbi Eliezer would be makel, because the avodah zarah that you use to bake the pas is not ba'olam anymore. It disappears. So maybe that's why it's a kula. So Gemara says, yeah, avol karker di isa l'sura be'ena ein l'moed l'rabbanan. Maybe over there is moed l'rabbanan. So that's why you have the machloikas by karker also. V'yishmin karker. So maybe you only have the machloikas by karker. No, b'hakam rabbanan. That's the rabbanan machmer over there because it's still be'en. Avol pas, where the avodah zarah is not be'en anymore because the pas gets baked, the eitzim are burnt. Avol pas ein l'moed l'Rabbi Eliezer. Maybe the chacham are moed l'Rabbi Eliezer. It could be yoyel chanol yam melech in such a case. So therefore, tzricha, I need them to argue in both cases. Omer Rabchi read Rabbi Nachman, Omer Chizda, Omer Zeiri, Halacha Rabbi Eliezer. Halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer, lekula. That yoyel chanol yam melech, as long as you take the value of whatever benefit you would get from the pas or the beged, and you threw it into the yam melech, you can eat the pas, you can wear the beged. Halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer. That's that tiny shel chachamim. Amru lo ein pidyon laveres gechavim. Michal says there's a ruach, maybe you could, just like there's hekdesh. Okay, ich weiß nicht. You have to be ma'ayin in it. But either way, the halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer. Ikad the Amr Rabbi Chizda, Rabbi Abba Bar Chizda, Hachya Amr Ziri, halacha Rabbi Eliezer. Amr Vada Bar Abba lo yishon la pas. Avol chavius loy. Only pas. Why? Because pas, like Rabbi Tzvi said, pas is a new entity. It's a new product. This product was created by a dover aser and dover amuter. So there is a sugi of zev zagoyim. But by a chavius, let's say you have a chavius shel yayin nesach that gets mixed up with a bunch of other chavius. You think Rabbi Eliezer would say over here too, yoyel chanol yam melech? Avada not, because here you're dealing with the iser itself. You're dealing with the yayin nesach itself. There's a chavius of yayin nesach. By beged or pas, you're not dealing with the avodah zarah. You're dealing with a product that came from a zev zagoyim. There is matter. He wants to say, by chavius, Rabbi Eliezer will not allow you to take the hanol yam melech. What's the case of chavius? Chavius means, Rashi explains, you have a chavius of yayin nesach, and you have a bunch of other chavius that are not yayin nesach, that are mutter. Now it's mixed up, you don't know where the yayin nesach is. So take a value of one barrel, right? This way you don't benefit from the avodah zarah. You could say, Rabbi Eliezer says, yoyel chanol yam melech, and you're okay. Says the Gemara, no. Over here he's not going to say it. It's mamash yayin nesach.
Right.
It's only
Right.
pas,
Right.
which is created through isser ve'eter, but this is not the actual avodah zarah.
Right.
So the Gemara says, "Chavius like v'rav Chizda Omar Chiddush, afilu chavius muteres." Even chavius is muter to be yoyel chanol yam melech. Oh, 1 second. Hahu gavra, a story. This Arab lechavisa the yayin nesach b'chamra. He had such a story where the yayin nesach was mixed up with other chavius. As lekamed Rav Chizda. Omar shkoil arbezuzi v'shodi b'narav v'nishterolach. Mamish, he paskin like that. A Maisa Rav Chizda. He paskin like that. Allah Maisa. That even if you're dealing with the actual avodah zarah, it's this Arab, just yoyel chanol yam melech and you're good to go.